Good morning and welcome to another episode of Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends right down the road at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where this month they are featuring the 7-inch subs for $4.99 any way you want them.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Yeah, I'm all about that. The pumpkin spice lattes. I don't care how early it is in the summer. Like, I'm going to go over there and get a latte. You can get it frozen. That makes it acceptable in September.
Did you notice where we are? Taylor can identify every last one of these individuals, I might add. And that puck did not kill Taylor.
These are all the Wilkes-Barre guys behind us.
Yeah, and it's like she recognizes like every last one. But before we get to these guys, we're going to talk about a certain more prominent individual who was practicing a little bit earlier, and that, of course, is Evgeny Malkin. Does he look different?
I don't know. You mean like maybe slimmed out?
Something.
Yeah, I think a lot of NHLers have been focusing on that, like slimming out. I don't know.
Because of speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Ovechkin said he did it. You know, Crosby said he's focusing on speed. I think that's what a lot of guys are doing this summer.
Yeah, I think what's happened is a lot of the older guys in the NHL, not all of them, but a lot of the older guys are seeing that it's become a young player's game. It's something we talked about. Not just the Connor McDavid Team North America generation, if you will, that's come in and made the game faster.
Yeah.
These older guys don't want to get left behind. There's nothing that's more embarrassing for a hockey player than to trail in a foot race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've written about that about Malkin a few times now, about how we need close. He needs to adapt as he gets older, and how, I mean, he wants to be good. I mean, that's what he's going to do over the summer. He's driven.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. It was just an informal practice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you watch the way he was competing in drills, when you hear the stuff that his teammates were saying about him afterward, kind of being careful about glowing too much, because you don't want to suggest that the Gino from before was somehow deficient.
Yeah.
But you spoke with Alex Galchenyuk, who might very well be his line mate from what we're picking up here.
Yeah, and they already worked together a bit in Russia over the summer, so they're kind of familiar with each other. Galchenyuk said they've never actually met before this. But I mean, you got to think he's going to start with him on that.
Yeah, I don't think you get an Alex Galchenyuk to your roster and then say, hey, you're not going to be in the top 6. And that just doesn't make sense. We're going to end this segment.
I know, it's dangerous.
Before we perish.
So we just survived a shooting gallery by none other than Emil Larmy.
Yeah, I mean, they were just skating by. They were hitting the glass a lot, and I turned around and Larmy taking this shot, which is a very Larmy thing to do.
What's up with that?
I don't know. Haggerty, he has one of the best shots in Wilkes-Barre. He was letting a few rockets hit
At first, I thought it was Diorio, because I'm like, all right, some of these guys know Taylor. They're shooting the puck over in the corner, but no, it was Larmy.
It's a very Larmy thing to do.
Not Larmy. Let's talk about Crystal Tang.
Yeah.
Because we talked to him in the locker room.
Yeah.
And this guy, I kind of love his attitude. The last time that we talked to him, the last time that I talked to him at least, it was after the clean out day, and he's talking like, hey, listen, reporters, if you want me to not shoot the puck, I can do that, but don't be mad at me when I don't score.
He was asked if he should tighten up defensively, and he's like, don't get mad at me then.
Right. But he kind of came with a little bit of attitude, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like when he gets snippy like that. He was asked about, social media, because we normally see a lot of off-season workout posts from him. We didn't really see any from him this summer, which is kind of new, and I mean, you asked him why.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean, I asked him about, in the social media era, is it kind of fair to the players if they're judged for not posting on social media? We saw it obviously with a guy like Le'Veon Bell speaking out about it over the offseason in the football world, a former Pittsburgh guy. But now we see, I mean, you've put up posts about
a lot of hockey players.
Evgeny Malkin, Kasper Bjorkquist. I mean, people make a name by posting this stuff. So I don't know. What do you think? Is it fair? He said he didn't care what people think.
He just said I liked his answer. He said he didn't care what people think. He's like, it doesn't matter. He's like, people know we're working out hard all summer. I mean, no one's going to question his fitness readiness
No, and
effort over the summer. But yeah, it was kind of interesting that it was quiet this summer.
And he says, are people going to question Sidney Crosby whether he works out over the summer because he doesn't post it on social media?
Yeah. Obviously
not a guy who's out there on social media, but I don't know. I like it. Little attitude.
Oh, jeez.
So Sunday looks at this goalie over here, and he asks Taylor, "Who's this?" And she goes, "Well, it's Tokarski." It's like, who the hell's Tokarski? But there he is. It's Tokarski, everybody. Get used to this because this is what a lot of the early parts of training camp are. It's a whole lot of Tokarski. And to me, that actually takes this particular training camp is going to be less fun than most because you're not going to see, I really believe this, a Tokarski or even an Adam Johnson or a Sam Miletic or Sam Lafferty have a prayer.
You're just naming people you know now.
Of a prayer. No. These are the top guys.
I know.
Who have a prayer of making this roster. There's not going to be we got to get him on the team. There isn't going to be one.
Yeah, no, we were in the office earlier last week, and you, Dave Molinari, and I were talking about, just the fact that there's not really any spots to win. And Dave kind of said, there's maybe like a defensive position where a guy can move up or down, one or two in the top nine, but then you're talking about the tertiary guys that maybe get a call up later in the year.
Well, what are the battles then? I mean, they do have an extra NHL forward. If you're scratching, theoretically, if you're doing an opening night draw, you're scratching Zach Aston Reese or Dominic Simone or Teddy Bluger or someone like that. You're scratching a Jack Johnson or a Marcus. I'm just saying that there's 7 guys or Yusuf Ricola on defense. That's pretty much the gist of the battles, isn't it? It's jockeying for position.
Yeah, no, it is. And you're talking about guys who have played prominently in either the top 6 or the top 4 defensively and talking about them being potential scratches. So I think, you lose a high point guy, a high goal guy like Phil Kessel, but maybe the roster is more complete, less battly, and maybe that's a good it's not for camp like you're saying.
Yeah.
But maybe it gives them a chance to kind of settle in. Can we find out if Galchenyuk can work with Malkin? Can we find out those types of things?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of you can show the coaching staff that you can be that responsible forward who's assigned to a given line. Can you be that left-handed guy who's on the right wing? Can you fit in the way you need to? Let's say if you're Dominic Cahoon with Sidney Crosby and Jake Gensel. These are the things you want to find out in camp. It's not a matter of who makes a team and who doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm not certain that maybe if you're looking at halfway through the season and there's an injury, that maybe there isn't one of those guys that can make an impact now, despite whatever they do in the AHL season, that you start to think back, like, how were they playing with Malkin?
Right.
Because Zach Aston Reese at times last year, he didn't look like he was a guy that should be playing at all in that top 6 role, or maybe at all.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If one of these guys can prove that they just have a little bit of chemistry, a tertiary guy like Simone that could play with like a Malkin, maybe that's enough to prove. As well.
I just got to point out here that Tokarski's net right now has 0 pucks in it because all Tokarski does. And then I say that Adam Johnson beats him top shelf here. So there's your scouting report on Tokarski. Courtesy of Get Go.